again, let me apologize for any background noise. There is going to be some. Sorry. This is to preface, this event happened not long after the fire. And this is really, when this happened, it absolutely boggled my mind because it made it very clear that I was being stalked. I should have known this from all the other things and how they were unfolding, the burglary of my house, things like that. But I'm certain that the burglary to my house was, I don't know if you want to call it stalking. It was an organized event by people that knew, if they can get me to go over here, then they can get this other person to go over there. If I'm with the other person and everybody's together in this scenario, then they would be certain to have free time to be able to burglarize my house and do all that they had done. Understand, I tried to call the police about that, and that turned into some sort of a shit show. I didn't trust the police at that time, definitely didn't trust them after that meeting, because I had already been given that verbal threat from Carmen Sue that she was going to have the sheriffs and law enforcement in the area make my life hell. And they have. Pretty much they have. Anyway, so this is the 41st Avenue Safeway in Capitola, California, right next to Santa Cruz. Basically a part of Santa Cruz. It's well known for the Pleasure Point surfing break, and it's really a big beach park. Pleasure Point all the way down to the Hook. So we're in the truck at this time. Probably didn't have the truck too long. Maybe I had a little bit of time. I think the bed was already on the truck. Yeah, the bed was already on the truck. So the camper was already on the truck. So it's maybe 3 months after the fire or something like that. Anyway, we had slept around the corner from that Safeway. There are some roads that go up into the mountains where there's little turnouts and turnoffs, and we had went up there and slept in the truck, and it was around 8 in the morning, and back then my stomach wasn't as it is now. I had a little more control over my mostly my nerve damage issues has to do back then was about urine, not about number 2, just urine. So I was able to do my thing in the truck most of the time, but at that time of the morning, I had my morning constitution to do. And so we stop at the Safeway, and I'm only going in just to use the restroom. I know where the restroom is. It's like maybe 60 feet away from the entrance. Go to the restroom. It's 8 in the morning, brand new, fresh, clean. It's been freshly cleaned. Go in and use the restroom. I'm probably in there 5, 6, 7 minutes or so. When I leave the restroom, there's a man waiting right there, waiting for me. I don't think he knocked on the door. He may have knocked on the door. I don't remember hearing anyone knock. Maybe he could hear the sink going. I don't know. So he was waiting patiently, is what I thought. So I get out of the bathroom. He goes in, of course. And like I say, it's like, I don't know, 30 or 40 steps to get out to the front door. I'm out to where my truck is, and I realize I don't have my keys with me. So I abruptly turn around, go back into the Safeway, and the man comes bustling, ripping out of the bathroom, and he's running towards the front door. And I see him, and I say, "Hey, did you happen to see some keys in there?" And he kind of just pushes me out of the way and runs out of the Safeway. I'm like, "Oh, I don't know. Must be late for work." I go into the bathroom. It's been literally a minute. Literally 1 minute. Sorry for that, it's very loud. Couldn't have been more than a minute. I go into the bathroom. There's something smeared on the mirror. There's a meth pipe broken on the ground. There's some trash strewn on the floor. And I'm like, what the heck am I walking into here? What am I walking into here? I had been going to places and getting this really strange look at all of these different places I was going into, whether it was the library, all these kind of different places. I didn't understand what was going on. I've got 12 library cards. I'm a fan of the library, extremely respectful of libraries. Never done anything bad in libraries. Yes, there was times where I was been smoking meth in the bathroom privately, nothing big, nothing intrusive to anybody else, but taking a couple hits back in the days, but not in more recent times. And anyway, I don't even know why I mentioned that. I shouldn't have. But, that is a reality. But I had not done anything like that, especially since the fire. Things were so unstable. But I was definitely going to a lot of libraries because I find solace in libraries. Plus, they got Wi-Fi and all that other good stuff. But I know that there's something really wrong with this scene, so I look for my keys, get the hell on out of there. I didn't run as fast as him, but I left with a slight jog. I didn't want anything to do with that. I don't know what the heck was going on. I didn't process it until I left. I get back out to my truck. I noticed that I had actually left my keys on the seat and I locked the doors behind me. I have a way of getting into my truck, so I did that. But what I realized was that there was more than just these bad actors that were trying to blackmail me, that were trying to extort me and was abusing my trust to steal from me and to do this thing with the scenario with the burglary and all that. And also understand, I'd like to raise a very important note here that Josh Haskell seems to have two friends, Kumo and me, who had strange attic fires that put them out of business. Two different people. Because Josh Haskell was definitely involved in the burglary. But with this situation, the 41st Avenue Safeway incident, is when it became apparent to me that there were groups of people, possibly organized church individuals, or warriors for God, if you want to call them that, is what I have experienced, especially in Colorado and other places. These people that think they're vigilantes for the Lord. Very interesting concepts. They're all working off of information that was given that's very similar to what happened in 41st Avenue. What was going to happen was that man was going to complete whatever it was he was doing in there. Then he was going to go to the front office and say, look, you need to look at your cameras. This man, who I went in, followed him into the bathroom, I was in there after him, was in there vandalizing your bathroom, using drugs, and leaving a mess with all this drug paraphernalia in your private but yet public bathroom, a Safeway bathroom. That's what was happening. There were people very similar to the 6 calls in San Francisco that are just peppering law enforcement and businesses and public places with lies that I was doing these things, which is another reason. This was early on after the fire, which is another, if you'd like to call it, an impetus to influence me to start creating ruckuses rather than just being this like, oh man, I don't know what's going on, while these other people are apparently they're more credible than me. The thing is like, when you look at the numbers of these calls, like when I spoke to the last officer at the 6th stop in out there in Half Moon Bay, it should have been clear that there is a serious situation here. I already had the stalking statutes and things up in my window and saying, if you're stalking me, please stop. I'm going to report you to the police. I laminated them and everything. I mean, they were nice. The officer saw that. I made it clear to him that this had been going on, a lot of bad stuff, and he didn't want to do anything. So the 41st Avenue Safeway incident is an incident that showed me that there was organized events by absolute complete strangers Also know, like I say, this is there's never just one person doing this. When I went to go run back in to find my keys, that person was called and warned. That's why he busted out of the bathroom the way that he did, and he didn't get to complete his mission. His mission was to go in. They had already followed me there, which is interesting. There has to be a tracking device either on my car or through my phone that they had connection with. Because the place that I parked, there's no way there was another car nearby. They wouldn't have been able to see me leave. Now, they could have stayed down the road, I suppose, but they wouldn't know for sure which direction I was going on that road. Although chances are, if you're waking up in the morning, you're going to go back towards the city and not back up into the mountains if they know that I don't have a place in the mountains. So that is possible that they waited down the road, but they had to have known where I parked. And I know that nobody followed me up that dark road. It was a dark, foggy night when we parked, probably 10 or 11 at night, maybe even later, maybe midnight. And unless they had their lights off, but this is a windy mountain road. So I don't think any of that happened. But this 41st Avenue Safeway incident shows where there was organized events by people already misinformed that were furthering a narrative by creating scenarios on their own. Or they were never misinformed. They just believed the original false narrative that my parent campaign that was apparently being started on me back in 2007, it seems like. Considering it might have been earlier than 2007, but up to now I'm at 2007 with my sister telling me the dumb story about Sherry Cadenhead's husband's murder issue. That's in a story a little bit earlier than this one. Let me close for that and just make it clear. These are organized events. There are people watching, backing each other completely to create scenarios that I am doing bad stuff. When I left that bathroom, I cleaned the bathroom. If I walk into an absolutely clean bathroom, I don't clean up other people's messes, but I clean up any mess that I make. And it was an absolutely pristine bathroom. There might have been trash in the trash can, but there was no spots on the glass, on the mirror, nothing like that. So I made sure to clean everything up, and yeah, it was spotless. And within 1 minute, but really the telltale sign is this man bursting out of it. He couldn't have known I was coming up unless somebody called him that saw me running back from my truck into the Safeway. So he was warned. This is scary stuff, people. This is scary stuff. These people that have the ability to track me and to do this, apparently they have the technology to do this, they can do this with children, they can do this with anyone. This is dangerous stuff.